So part two, who is God? What is God? John Michael Bliss here again for Grow, Love, and Expand, and jbliss30 at gmail.com. Who is God? What is God? And what we were talking a little bit about was that God is pure love, and the truth of the matter is you are God, okay? And what we need to do is start acting as such. Start thinking of how you live your life. I will tell you this. I have been doing this a long time, and like I said in the previous video, there is no such thing as evil. It does not exist. There are bad people, yes, but there is no such thing as evil. It just doesn't exist. A long time ago, there was an individual, like we had discussed earlier, who helped us create sort of the duality of it, and that what gave us the perception of maybe what we were doing to what we needed to be. Spiritual guides along the years have come down. Buddha, Siddhartha, Confucius, Krishna have helped guide us into greater awarenesses of who we are and a sort of an enlightened path, right? And those kinds of individuals all are part of God. They're all part of the same essence. To say that there's one path to God, that's just simply not true. There isn't one path. There's only a path. Well, I guess there is to a certain degree. It's called love. I guess it's called love. Yeah. Many people get there, though, different ways. But as long as you're loving, then everything else falls into place because everything you do emanates love. Does it make sense? You're projecting love into a new business. You're projecting love into a new creation. Does that mean it's not hard work? No. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is God is pure love. That's the total essence of what God is. And you are a part of God, okay? And you have that essence in you. To think that you don't is just simply doing a misjustice to yourself. I always love people who say that, about extraterrestrials, they have this denial, which fascinates me because there's so much evidence about it. It's just ridiculous. The question isn't, are they? It's, when are they going to disclose it? But what I find fascinating about that is I go, you don't believe in extraterrestrials? Really? So then you're saying God is limited? God is not limited. God is limitless. Everything that you see, taste, touch, and feel is God, is a part of God, period. Without it doesn't exist. Nothing exists without God. And since God is pure love, that's all that really truly exists. Everything else is a figment of our own thoughts. We make it up, okay? And we can unmake it up. In other words, we can start to see ourselves differently, start to see ourselves for who we truly are, and thus create the life that we want. Now, I know, look, we're going to take you to places you never thought before. We're going to challenge your mind. We're going to challenge who you are. We're going to challenge a lot of what you think and know to be true. All we ask is that you be open-minded, okay, and go, this kind of makes sense, And then you start to go, okay, really? Then you start to ask the questions for yourself. But once you start to understand the expansion of God, and you're God, you're a part of this essence, then who are you really? Then where are you really? You are limitless. You are boundless in your expression of self. You are limitless in what you can do, right? As long as you don't lie, cheat, or steal, or hurt people, right? Because that's not God. That's not a loving act, right? So what happens? You say, well, there's bad spirits. Really? 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 Come on now. What happened to your guides then? I love these people who say, this person's possessed. Really? That's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. Really, think about that for a second. You say, that's the same person. Do you believe in guides? Yes. Do you believe in angels? Yes. Do you believe in spiritual guides? Yeah. Oh, really? So what did they do? Just take a break and somebody came and took over your body? Please, it doesn't work. You create that in your own self, your own mind. It's not real. You have guides, spirit guides, angels around you all the time. Possession doesn't happen. It does not happen. I had this evil spirit. No, you didn't. There's tons of guides around you all the time. All the time. And, so I had these things flying around the room. They've done studies when boys go through sort of their early development, and their sort of sexual energy creates havoc in the house. Did you know that? Try researching that. It's quite fascinating. Um, a lot of time, well, this ghost is in my house. Well, there's also residual energies too. Okay, uh, that residual energy may be there, but there may really not be anything there at all. I mean, these are all way different topics we can get into. But I assure you, if God is pure love, that is all there is. And you say, "Oh, there's bad spirits." Really? Let me tell you something. When you die, when you pass over, and you go to the etheric self, guess what? It's like, whoa, a lot different. Every single reading I've done, if a person who's come through and they passed over, they're first always like, "Wow, I had no idea." They almost have instant knowledge. Do they know everything? Oh no, far from it, because there's so much to know. But they go, "Wow, I see things from a whole different perspective." Okay. And a lot of times what happens, this is what happens when someone dies, or, literally what a lot of times is they hang around the people that they've known a lot until it's time to go. And their guides are always around them because really they don't know how to work their energy yet. So they're not allowed to just enter the facility because they'll blow up the light bulbs, wreck the computers and things of that nature because the energy is really strong. Believe it or not, God is the most powerful force in the universe. Huge energy. Had my wife one time feel, we were doing some channeling. It was an individual called Metatron. You might know it was Enoch, and he came through, and I said, "You want to feel the energy?" And she said, "Yeah." And it was like almost blew her away because it's a powerful energy, and that's just Metatron. Imagine God of all things. That energy's strong. When they say, "Well, you had a pinpoint of light come through," that's all you can handle at first, because that needs to grow. Your body needs to mature. Your energy, your etheric self needs to mature. You can't just get hit all at once. It's too much. It's too much information. The energy's too strong. Okay? But as you grow, as you start to learn, as you start to realize, like these spirits who pass over and they go, "Wow, I had no idea." It's like, yeah, exactly. You had no idea. Then they go to life review, and then they really see it. They see it from the perspective of not only themselves, but the people they interacted with. And they go, "Wow, I had no idea." And they go, "Well, there's no bad out there." And let me tell you something. If you have like a bad thought or you're like not feeling good about yourself, guess what? You don't come here. You don't come here because you're still growing down. You're still growing. You're still learning. You're not allowed here, right? There's called this rule of divine interference. You can't do it. You can try, but let me tell you something. You won't make it. You won't do it. A lot of times you see something, if we send something in space that's outside of our hemisphere, it'll blow up. If it's made of weaponry, if it's like a nuclear bomb, let's say, and we shoot it up past our hemispheric reality, it won't make it. It'll blow up because it's not allowed. You're not allowed to infringe on other people, other societies. It's called divine intervention. You can't do it. You can't do it. Trust me. There is no such thing as evil. It does not exist. It does not exist. There are no bad entities. Okay? There are bad people, yeah. But if you're not of good intent, you're not allowed here. You don't come here until you get it. It's a place of learning to love. Okay? Because God is pure love. That's all God is. And once you pass over, you go, "Wow," you see it. And it's your human feelings and emotions start to drift away. Greed, all that stuff, wanting to control others, that starts to fade away because it's like, this isn't the way it is. We're all one. Exactly. It's like I always say, I give people, Jesus goes, knocks on you. "Hey, God, I made it." And God says, what do you mean you made it? He goes, "Well, I got enlightenment." He says, "Okay, great. Who'd you teach?" Right? Because we're all one. We're all one. And when you die or when you get the etheric self, you understand that. And you realize, wow, there's a greater purpose here. That's why so many people choose to come back because they go, "Okay, I need to come back because I need to help us create oneness." Because I got news for you. Everybody has to make it. It's one for all and all for one. Period. So to conclude, God. What is God? Who is God? Pure love. Everything is love. God is in everything and is all things. You are God. You are an aspect of God. You are God. Start acting in it. Start believing in yourself. Start loving yourself. I love you for who you are. I got to love myself just like you got to love yourself. In that you see others as God and you treat them differently. You treat your fork differently. You treat the streets differently. It's harder to throw a bottle cap on the road now because you see it as God. It's hard to litter the area that you live in because you see it as God. Excuse me. Everything is God. Therefore, you treat it better. And you'll treat yourself better. And by treating yourself, you treat others better. By loving yourself, you love others better. You see, everything and all things are God. That is a fact. There is no such thing other than God, period. And God is pure love. You are God. Start acting as such. Love yourself for who and what you are and what you truly are. And realize your limitless boundaries of life. And you can achieve anything you want. Yeah, it's going to take some steps. And yeah, it may be difficult. But guess what? Don't give up on yourself because God doesn't. God keeps creating. So can you. With peace, love, and understanding always. Namaste. God bless and be well. jbliss30@gmail.com. Grow, love, and expand. God bless. Namaste and be well. Thank you so much.